What's going on?
Give me the intro.
Alright guys, we're gonna catch some fish today.
We're actually already done fishing. But we figured we'd do the intro now in the warmth of the truck.
Yes sir.
So talk to me.
So, we fished a shallow bite, which is both of our absolute favorite way to fish. Just to feel that nice little thump.
Is it cold?
Yeah, dude, I'm so cold right now I can hardly talk. But yes, it's cold, we caught fish. I don't think I caught a single walleye, you know, it's the way it goes sometimes.
But don't worry, somebody did catch some walleyes, so that was good. But yeah, welcome back to another video, I guess. And as Mitch said, it is late fall now. Water temps are just tanking. Super cold out. We have like every morning it's like 22 degrees out, and the high is like 34 degrees. Big front coming in today. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. We're gonna go over some tips, tricks, and some of the little things I do when I'm fishing the shallow water bite that maybe help you guys out. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video, enjoy some hook sets, and if you're still out fishing, hopefully you're having some good luck. And we're gonna warm up. I'm actually gonna go fishing some more, but enjoy the video. Fish on? On. Wow. Fish on. Hook up. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, look at this, Mitchell. It's exactly what we're looking for here.
A nice fish. Let me grab the net for you.
Hunker walleye. First thing in the morning. That was probably the same one Mitchell missed out there.
Probably.
That is what we're after right there. Beautiful day out here, and hook sets right away in the morning. Gotta love it. We'll give you a look at this fish here. He absolutely throttled my little Kalen's walleye, 1/4 ounce, and yeah, that's the deal right there.
What a solid fish.
Solid fish, super healthy. Pitching, we're sitting in 13 feet of water. Doesn't get much better than that for catching them in the fall. These are end times. We still got water temps that are like 47, 48, but it is like highs in the low 30s, and our nighttime temps are like low 20s. So we don't have a lot of time left, but we're gonna enjoy every hook set we have until it's frozen up. There we go, look at that. Too beautiful, too fun. Let's do it again. What do you say? Are you up, Mitchell, or am I up again? Or do you just want me to catch them all today?
We'll see.
Right,
I might catch one.
There's no way. Did you see that? No, I wasn't. I put so much pressure on that fish.
Like it was like you were stuck in cabbage, basically?
Yeah, dude. Really? Definitely another nice walleye.
Fish. Alright, I guess you're gonna catch them all today.
Alright, guys. Get a quick shot of side imaging, Mitchell. This walleye's freaking out.
Let's see if you can. Yep, there's a good shot.
Alright, so a bunch of fish out there.
Good
We've
fish.
just been working them. Nice walleye. Real nice walleye.
Looks like a nice one. Oh yeah, look at that.
Nice thick one. Alright. So we're actually not getting bit like every cast, like the side imaging would lead you to believe. I believe there's some suckers over there. And what we're seeing is these fish kind of running. We're kind of actually in a bald spot in the weeds. If you can imagine, we're on a high spot right here, and it's deeper around us, and these weeds start right as that soft bottom kind of kicks in, kind of on the depressions over here. And we're sitting right on this bald spot, so we can kind of see the fish as they're skirting this high spot where the weeds aren't, and they're running that edge. We just keep pitching out there, and when a walleye swims by and it bites, we catch it, hopefully. Except unless you're Mitchell, then sometimes you might miss it. But for the most part,
this guy's talking smack today.
Yeah, we're talking.
And it's only 7:30.
There you go. I mean, that's as good as it gets. Am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
Nice, about 22, 23 incher, thick,
Throw
healthy fish right there.
Throw them in the live well.
We'll let that one go. It's about as good as it gets. See you later, buddy. Do it again. All right, one thing I've talked about in a lot of our jigging wow, that audio got trashed. I have no idea what happened there, if it was the mic or the wind or what, but we'll recap it right here. So basically what we were doing on this day was we were fishing a very large weedy flat, right? And the fish might, and this is hundreds and hundreds of yards in width and hundreds of yards, you know, from kind of where you're fishing to shore. It's just a very slow, gradual rise with some dips and some ups and some downs and all this kind of stuff. And basically what we're doing, there's obviously, you know, several different ways you can kind of dissect a weed bed. You can just fish the whole thing, you know, do something that covers enough water where you can just kind of fish through it all. And the other way you can do it is obviously look for fish or fish smaller key structures, right? And this is one of those weed beds where it's very thick. You know, what you'll have is like big stands of cabbage or big stands of milfoil, and then like weeds that are 3 feet high, like fringy stuff through all of that stuff. And there's very few like actual pockets or edges in this stuff. So obviously what you can do, and what we were doing is we were looking at that edge first, the outside edge, which is in like 16 feet of water, 15 feet of water. It kind of goes in and out. Clear lake, so it's obviously got deep weeds. We were looking at that edge with side imaging, catching some fish there, but it seemed like where more fish was up inside of that stuff. So what we were doing is we'd get up inside of this and we'd drive around. And a lot of times when you're fishing these very big weed expanses, these weed flats, what you'll have is dips and rises, right? And a lot of times on the high spots or on the bald spots or on these these like high gravel spots in the weed beds, it'd be totally bald, right? And there wouldn't be any weeds there, let's say in like 8, 9, 10 feet on this high spot. And then where it would break out to like 12, 13, what you have happen is that bottom softens up a little bit in those depressions and you get a lot of weeds there. So what we were doing for the most part is we were fishing these high spots. So we parked the boat right on top of these high spots, like 8 or 9 feet, and we could see with the side imaging out to these edges where it kind of broke out, and these fish were running the outsides of these pockets. So they were running right next to these real thick mats of weeds, but we could see them good on side imaging because we were fishing basically in a bald top of a hump. And I always say it, fish love either voids in the weeds, they love edges of the weeds, or they love pockets or seams where there is no weeds, around a lot of weeds. And obviously, can you catch a fish kind of anywhere through that area? Yeah, you probably could. But definitely the concentrations of fish were either on those outside edges or mainly those pockets or seams inside. The other great advantage that has is you can obviously see fish in there, right? If you're just going to be fishing like 3 foot tall mats of weeds everywhere in 10 feet of water, you're never going to really be able to mark fish in there. So on a spot that big, it obviously pays to be able to see fish before you start fishing. It really always does. But if you can do that, you know, that's kind of the key there. So that's what we were doing. We're kind of going along, looking for these pockets or voids in the weeds, seeing the fish on side imaging that look something like this, and then pitching out to them.
I'm going to get an opportunity at some years. Hooked up. Fish on. Oh, we got one of the other kind of fun ones here. What do you got there?
Alrighty. Nice smallmouth. One of the coolest parts of fall, I always say it, but when you get a little bit of everything kind of all in the same area like we have, a lot of times the shallows are overlooked late in the fall like this. What we have going on is a lot of bait up here. That's kind of the main reason that there's a lot of life up here of all species. That is normally the case when you're just catching a little bit of everything, is that there's a lot of bait. There's a ton of perch about this big up here. We're seeing them on the camera, and I'm sure that is exactly why these fish are up here. Come here, buddy. Not a big one, but hey, I'm gonna net them because I don't want to get my hands too wet today. Given the fact everything's freezing in the boat. But nice smallmouth here. We got a stack of fish around us right now, so I just want to get this guy off quick. Give you a quick little look, but I am all right with catching a little bit of everything when it's around, especially if you're talking about smallmouth and walleyes. Look at that nice pudgy little smallmouth. Look at that little fall gut on him. We'll let him go.
Hooked up. Fish on. Oh, jumper smallmouth. Alright, I'm going to pull the camera out. Is that okay?
Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
Nice. Catch and release.
Keep casting over there. There's a whole bunch of them on side imaging.
Oh, he's hooked up. Oh. I held up my end of the bargain.
Is he gonna lose it
though?
Fish. You can still lose it.
I might lose it though. Alright. I have a fish on.
You guys saw we
I
just
take the foot off because I can't even see anything.
Just saw him on side imaging, made the first cast. Got the nice smallmouth. Oh, my net's all messed up. Oh, there we go, nice smallie.
Well, I want to say I'm disappointed, but I'm not, because these are also fun to catch.
Guy didn't bring gloves, of course.
I never do. Never prepared.
Nice chunker smallie.
Gotta get it done.
See you later, buddy. So all of our informational pieces, the audio is trashed for it. But another huge thing I want to talk about, and I kind of talk about it a lot in most of my jig videos I do, is fishing with the right rod. But it's incredibly important this time of year, right? And why is it so important this time of year? Because the water is brutally cold and you get a lot of very, very soft pickups, right? Now the rod I use, and I know it's been out of stock for a while, and I think is back ordered, but you know, if you can get your hands on one of these in the future, definitely worth it. It's an Elliott rod 7.3 medium light fast action. All-time favorite jig rod. Thing's just a workhorse, and it really is perfect for throwing a lot of this quarter, eighth ounce stuff up shallow, right? But the main thing that this does, and I'll kind of do my best to illustrate it here, is the tip load on these. Very, very important, right? So I'm going to show you right now. So this is obviously the rod, not bent at all. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on there. I'm barely putting any weight on there, right? And you can see that tip start to flex. Now, the rod's got plenty of power to set the hook and fight a fish and everything like that. But why is that tip load important? Well, a lot of times when you're jig fishing, you know, fish are really amped up, really jacked up, really biting hard. You'll pitch out, you'll pop that jig up, it'll be falling, boom, you know, and that fish will just feel that, that typical jig bite, that big clump bite, right? And that's the bite that we all love. But a lot of times you start getting water temps in the 40-degree range and under, what you have happen is these very soft pickups. They're attracted to that action of the jig, but a lot of times you'll go to pick up again, and your rod's just going like that, right? And a lot of times we're fishing heavy weeds, so you're not sure if you have a weed or a fish or what you have going on. And one thing I always say right when you get that bite is put a little bit of pressure on it if you're not sure if it's a fish or not. And what you can do, let's say you pop that thing up and that rod's just like that right there. That is such a small amount of weight, but you can see it's bowing that tip. And if you keep putting pressure on that fish, most of the time what you'll feel is you'll see your rod kind of going like this. Kind of doing this little thing right here where it's just kind of giving you a little play in it, right? And you can tell it's not a weed. So if your rod's too stiff, what's going to happen is you're going to put that pressure on that fish either from your initial jig, when you go to jig up and that fish already has it and you're not going to know it yet, and he's just going to drop it because it's a lot of pressure. Or what's going to happen is you're going to try to put a little bit of pressure on that fish to see if it's a fish, and that without that rod having play, the fish is just going to drop it, right? So having a medium light action rod and something with tip play is incredibly important when you're doing a lot of this real cold water jigging thing. And you can see there's a fish that I caught earlier today where I kind of loaded the rod up, loaded up, and I was like, is this seriously a fish on here? And then, you know, I finally set the hook. That's a little bit more extreme than happens most of the time, but if you're fishing with a really stiff rod, you're going to miss most of those fish. And the other thing it does, like I was kind of saying, you know, I pop my jigs pretty hard even when the water's cold, because I like having it, especially in clear water, having that little bit snappier go-go. And then obviously most of the bites come on the fall anyways. But if you're popping your jig pretty hard, and let's say a fish bites it off the bottom and you go like this, you know, you're going to pull that jig out 9 times out of 10 out of that fish's mouth. And, you know, fish with this medium light rod, you go to pop up and there's just that little bit of mush there, you know, to kind of back off and put a little tension on and be like, okay, yep, that is a fish. So having the right rod goes a long ways when it comes to catching more fish, especially doing cold water jigging stuff.
Hooked up. Fish on. Damn it, can't even get a minnow on my rig.
Oh yeah. Got to love it.
Is it what we're looking for there, boss?
What we're looking for.
You need a net?
Just actually made a little bit of a move.
Oh, I'm stuck with the net. Oh,
made a little bit of a move, and we just kind of scanned a big weed bed. And that was my first cast. Mitchell didn't even have a minnow yet.
Not
it's
yet.
Called just being ready to go. Early bird gets the worm, whatever you want to call it right there. We just scanned a big weed bed. There wasn't anything inside the weed bed. There was one little point, and there's a couple of fish around the point. We're like, well, not very impressive. It's a very northern Wisconsin-esque looking school of about 5 to 10 fish. And first catch, pitch back on them, and there we go.
Okay, it's just good.
Nice fall walleye. It's just good, clean living right there. We'll let that one go. It is cold out. There's a massive storm system coming in today. Alright guys, well that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. Sorry I had to do these parts in the garage. The audio was absolutely terrible. I don't know if my mic is shot. are soaking wet or what happened. Anyways, yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Not sure what we going on. I just got my boat de-snowed. It was a massive snowstorm yesterday afternoon. I tried to film something on a new lake, found a lot of walleyes, but just ran out of time. So we might go back and do that again today. I have no idea. But I appreciate you guys watching. Have fun fall fishing. There's still some time left. It looks like it's going to be cold. It's going to be snowy. It's going to be very wintry out. But it doesn't look like we're going to have temps cold enough to really freeze stuff up here for a couple weeks. So enjoy it. What fish are definitely biting. I love fall bites. Hopefully you guys love fall bites. And stay tuned for more. We'll see you guys next time.